Welcome to a short reflection on Canto VII of Dante's Inferno, by Sebastian Mafford. Plutus, not to be confused with Pluto, is the god of wealth in classical mythology, which makes him, according to Ciardi, the ideal overseer of the miserly and the prodigal. As guardian of the circle, he challenges the poets with what is to us a nonsense hail, though Virgil seems to understand its meaning in what will become his stock response to any challenge of his presence in the circles of hell below his own. Our journey is willed by heaven. The truth of his statement is sufficient for them to get past most of hell's guards. He adapted his method to Cerberus's particular challenge by throwing hell sludge into his mouth, though he'll need an actual miracle to get through the gates of hell's capital city, in the 6th circle, and the cardinal virtue of prudence to get past the gargoyles in the 8th circle. Radix malorum est cupiditas. 1 Timothy 6:10 reads, For the desire of money is the root of all evils, which some coveting have erred from the faith, and have entangled themselves in many sorrows. Here, in what the poet Statius, who meets Virgil and Dante in purgatory, will call the grim joust of the infernal night, are punished the hoarders and the wasters, the misers and the prodigals, souls who in life, in Ciardi's words, destroyed the light of God within themselves by thinking of nothing but money. For the first time, then, we can actually see the Aristotelian mean at work. Vice lies in the excess, the mean between hoarding and prodigality being liberality. The punishment is ongoing mundanity, in a sterile action. The hoarders and wasters knock stones against one another, shouting, Why do you hoard, and why do you waste? Dante's response is to feel his heart contract with pain. Dame Fortune is the first of two allegorical persons, Virgil will explain, the other being the old man of Crete, the source of hell's rivers, about whom he'll speak in the 7th circle. Ciardi notes that, like the other mythological figures, Dante incorporates her into his scheme of the universe, but ranks her among the angels, and gives her, like all other mythological characters we find in Dante's cosmos, a special office in the service of the Catholic God. We receive a fuller understanding of how fortune works in terms of the personal influence of the heavenly spheres in the lives of each soul, especially in its relationship with free will, when Beatrice explains it to Dante in the first sphere of paradise. For now, though, it is enough to explain that fortune, which seems feckless to man, is ordered and structured in the divine mind. There really being nothing more to say about the Avaricious, whose features aren't even distinguishable, and who don't pause in the clashing and regrouping of their rocks to speak with Dante. The poets look ahead to the next circle of hell, which is actually a marsh separating them from the shore of the 6th circle, within which stands the capital city, Dis. Here we witness another two extremes, the Wrathful and the Sullen, sinners who failed in life to work out the problems in their interpersonal relationships, and could never adjust their predisposition to the mean, which is good temper. Here, in the marsh of Styx, they rip at one another in wrath, or submerge themselves beneath the swamp, known only by their gargling words that drift upward in sullenness. Had the disposition of violence been added to the predisposition of immoderate anger, they'd have fallen lower, into the first round of the 7th circle. At the banks of this swamp the poets find a signal tower, which alerts the ferryman of Dis that new souls have arrived to be picked up. As we'll enter the marsh of Styx more fully in the next canto, I'll limit my reflection here to the Avaricious, and speak in terms of the virtue of liberality, which is bound up in our being good stewards of our material resources. Aristotle writes that by wealth we mean all the things whose value is measured by money, and that liberality is bound up in the idea of philanthropic charity. We are measured in our liberality by our distributing money in the right places, that is, to the right people, the right amounts, and at the right time, without pain in the giving, even if it be sacrificial. This stewardship of money extends to stewardship of resources. If we hoard our possessions or waste them, that too is a form of avarice, and such possessions, like money, should enable us to be conduits for the true good of others, so that our gifts flow through us, rather than weight us down. In an age where time is money, we can see the same correlation at play. We should give of our time, too, to the right people, in the right amounts, and at the right time. neither squandering it, nor keeping it all to ourselves.